Welcome to our podcast today. Now we're separated by miles again. It is me, Hanshi Ken, and I am with our favorite Soki. Soki.
Bobby
All
Briggs.
right. Well,
How you doing, brother?
I am still recovering. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I'm feeling
You had
much
a rough
better.
week.
Yeah, I'm feeling much better. I think if I had to do it over again, I would have gone to the doctor sooner than try to toughen it out. And that's kind of
You have a
what
habit of doing that, don't you?
yeah, and that's kind of what he said. They called me on Wednesday or Thursday. They want to follow up with me on this upcoming Wednesday. So
Hmm.
he said it was, yeah, he wants to see me again. He says it's turned. I don't know all the details. She just said, yeah, it turned out to be a worse infection than you realized. So, uh,
So was it Lyme disease that you got?
no, it looks like it was actually Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Rocky Mountain spotted fever? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's pretty yeah, that's usually what people get here in North Carolina and around the south. There's Rocky Mountain spotted fever
fever.
when they
Yeah.
get bit by ticks.
Yeah, yeah, and looking it up, I guess if you don't get treated, there's only a 50% mortality rate. So,
Yeah, you're kind of rolling the dice on that one, brother.
yeah, yeah. So
I need you to stick around for a little while.
glad I went in when I went in, and but they just looking it up, and that a neighbor about two homes down from me had it once, and they were hospitalized for 2 weeks with it.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like,
Holy
well, that didn't
crap.
happen. I find myself getting tired.
Yeah.
Even if
Oh,
I
I
feel
bet.
normal, I do find myself if I'm sitting in the chair or working a little bit, I get tired right now. I'm trying to work out, but I get past stretching and I'm like, oh, well, I'm wiped. But I don't feel sick anymore. I don't know if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Just really
Well,
fatigued. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure it's the same way there, but usually when people gets that around here, I
Yeah.
mean, you're talking about a recovery rate of about 2 to 3 months before they can really get back up to where they were.
Oh, really?
It
Yeah.
yeah, it's a process of
Yeah.
getting back up there, and like you said, I mean, there's a lot of people that dies from that.
Yeah. I was like, oh no. So
Yeah,
I got a call saying I got to come if I come in Wednesday, and so I'm gonna go Wednesday morning, and I still have one more round of drugs tomorrow, and then I'm done with the drugs. I don't know, maybe he'll give me
yeah,
more. But everything I looked up after that kind of shows that there's a little bit of a recovery period,
mhm,
and that the sooner you go get help, the better. So I probably
yeah,
should have got
yeah.
help right
Yeah,
away.
you can't wait too long after it gets. Hey, so when I got out there, you were pulling a tick off of you the
Yes,
day I got out to
got yeah.
Arkansas. Is that
I just
is
taken the
that true,
tweezers
man?
back to the neighbor, and it was right under
Yeah.
my chest by my heart. Yeah, so I don't know if
And they think that is the one that caused
well,
it?
that and I had another one a couple days before that on the side, and that one was it's still a little bit red, but almost gone. That one was really
Yeah,
red. And when I pull them out, I mean, I would douse it with alcohol, is what you're
right.
supposed to do. And I've had 12 tick bites this year already.
Good God.
Yeah, I've tried everything I can to mitigate our yard. So if I got one more thing I'm going to try next, if that doesn't work, then I'm going to pay for a service to do it.
I was
And
starting to say, why don't you call a professional,
yeah,
man,
then I'm going to do
and
that.
have them come out and spray. That's what we do here around the house every 3 months. I don't know what you'd call it, an in, insect pesticide type company.
Yeah,
They come out. We've got them on a revolving contract. And they come out every 3 months and spray the entire inside of the house, the outside of the house, as well as the detached garage and the surrounding areas
yeah,
on the property to keep
just
stuff
that
like that
out.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I tell you what, I'm at war with them now, so I got
it's worth
that'll
the
be nice.
money, brother.
It is,
I'm telling you.
especially after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a text from you about, and if I get this right, somebody in Taekwondo got a black belt in 30 days. Is that right?
Um, Let me pull up that text that I sent you. I think they got it in 90
90
days.
days. Still 90
I think it
days.
was 90 days. I saw that when I woke up this morning. You know how you can wake up and or whenever you can log on Facebook, should I say, and it pulls up kind of stuff on Facebook that you look at quite
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
Well, on the Kikimeru Facebook page, that's what I was signed in on because we had a guy or a 10-year-old kid that tested for his green belt yesterday. and got it. So I pulled that up, just to check to see what kind of comments is on there and stuff like that where people congratulate him. And I see this thing about this kid. Here, let me read this just because I copied and pasted and sent you a text message of exactly word by word what it said on there. And it was a guy that I'm friends with that's in martial arts, but he's also in Japanese martial arts. And I'm not saying anything about Japanese, Korean, or anything like that. It's just that's why we're friends, because we have that in common. Both of us are in Japanese type martial arts. And he posted on his Facebook page. He said, "I just read a story about a 14-year-old that started Taekwondo, and after 90 days of daily training, was promoted to not yellow, but first Dan black. Story said student found out his family was moving to another country and wanted to start teaching Taekwondo there. My opinion is this is not a traditional dojang, sounds more like a McDojo." So that's what he posted. And I read that and I'm like, are you kidding me? 90 days, 14-year-old kid, 90 days from white to black.
Yeah.
Because their family is like, hey, we're moving out of country and our son wants to teach Taekwondo over there. Can you do anything to help us? And they promoted him from white to black in 90 days and 3 months.
Yeah. I'm
like, my gosh, man, there's nothing like selling why'd they even go talk to the instructor? They could have just went on Century.com or KungFuForLess.com and ordered black belt, gave it to them, say, here, go teach whatever you want to and call it what you want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, how to comment on it. Quite often, GIs in the 50s and 60s, would be in Okinawa, Japan, and Korea, and they'd get their black belt in a year and come back.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't know, though, is that most of them were doing, 4-hour evenings, 5 nights a week training, and at least 4 nights a week, sometimes 5 nights a week. And the mindset was, they're gonna get the bulk of it. They'll come here and then they'll keep going back to get their first or second dan. And most of them, like Bill Wallace, I think he was over there for 7-8 months, got to a brown belt, came to Norton Air Force Base and finished up and got his black belt there. Joe Louis did it in 9 months, but Joe Louis was 3-4 hours a night, 6 days a week.
Right.
And so they get all the technique in. But these are adults, and it's at a little bit of a different time back then because, if you're doing it 6 days a week, that much time,
right?
That's like doing 3 years. That's a lot of time. That's like doing 3 years, 2 nights a week, and you are hopefully mature. I mean, young GIs, right. I don't know for sure.
You're an adult. Let's just say that you're not a 14-year-old kid,
right? And if you're at the dojo that much, you're probably not out drinking all the time overseas. Right. You're out doing something productive. But it's the same thing. So, I've done 2 TDYs to Korea, both time were Osan. And I went and visited some of the schools on the base and off the base when I did it. So while most people are going down to the juicy bars and drinking, this geek here is going to martial art dojangs and churches on Sunday that are filled with Korean nationals just to see what it's like. So that's my wild life. But I noticed something that was different, that on the base, they were still going about 3 days a week, but only maybe an hour and a half at a time. But they could easily get a black belt in 12 months. And I just think, boy, if I started here, I'd probably have my black belt in 8 or 7 months, something like that. And but if you went off base, you notice it was a little more rigorous, and it was harder training, much harder training. And I think it always kind of spoke to me that when I encounter often martial artists in the States who got their black belts in Korea, once they got back to the States, they kind of quit. And they'd come to my dojos a little bit because it's military. I'm teaching on the base. But they wouldn't last very long. It was real difficult. And they really didn't have a black belt level anyways. Right. Now, these are people presumably doing it 2 to 3 nights a week for an hour and a half at a time. And they're adults. So I find it really hard to see how somebody can do it in 90 days, especially at 14. And then the mature, even if you were doing techniques the whole time, there's just diminishing returns. And even if you're athletic, I don't know. It's laughable to me.
not only that, but I mean, we're talking about a maturity level too. I
Right.
mean, it's one
Yeah.
thing to learn techniques, learn the forms, but I don't believe in 5 or 6 or even 7 days a week that your fighting can get that good, your self defense can get that good, and your maturity can get that good. I mean, right there's three big things that we look for in our style is how well can you fight, your self defense, and your maturity. That's not nothing to do with Kihon, Air Basics, or our kata,
Right. Yeah.
or any other thing. That's just those three things alone right there.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm not buying it.
No, I'm not buying
It's
it.
a McDojo.
Yeah, I just don't see how you can do it. And even if you're extremely athletic, there's still the maturity part. And then there's also the part I probably struggle with the most, besides kata,
Yeah,
is actually teaching. Uh, and I've said this many times. I mean, yeah, you and Shihan are much better instructors than I am, uh,
I
and
don't
and
know.
and I have met a lot of people who I think are much better at breaking things down. I think I'm a good coach, meaning if you're fighting theories, I can get you to do the things you need to do,
Right.
mitt drive, and how to fight. But overall ability to impart karate properly, I think I'm average. And
I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit, but
well, yeah,
that's me as your instructor.
well, thank you, Soki.
So,
But
but
but so I get really amazed when somebody is a black belt. I mean, one, I've never heard anybody get it in 90 days. I've seen 6 months in the Philippines, 6, 7 months. Uh, and again, these were adults, but 90 days from
yeah,
white
I
to
think the
I
quickest that I've honestly ever heard or saw it has been like 10 months.
right,
And
yeah,
again, I would even consider that a ripoff.
right. I would. Oh yes,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
they're just selling you a belt.
right,
But it was like you said, it was GIs, and it was going to Korea, and they took 30 days and came home on midterm leave, and by the time they got through in process and out process, and I guess that wasted their other month because they were over there for a 12-month tour. And I've heard two or three guys that I've been stationed with before that said they got it on a short term or a
right,
short tour, as
right.
you know, is a 12-month tour, a short tour in Korea. And it took them about 10 months. And I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not buying it,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah. I know.
Sorry.
I know, and I know Chuck Norris got his in a year, but what I explain to people, it's like when Bill Wallace and Joe Lewis and many other GIs went over there. When Chuck Norris did it, it was Tun Sado. He was going off base. They weren't teaching him on base, if I remember correctly from
Yeah.
him. He was going off base almost every night and
Mhm.
Saturdays, working out and kicking.
Yeah.
And he failed his first black belt test, so he had to go through a rigorous test, and then he had to wait 30 days, and then he passed it. And you don't see that going on in Korea now for the
Yeah.
Americans on the bases there. At least not the last time I've been there. It's been 30 years, of course, but people I talk to still say, no, it's pretty much you'll get your belt when you test. Uh, but 90 days and a 14-year-old at that is just absolutely, I don't understand it.
Insane.
And it really says a lot, talking about McDojo, about our ability as Americans.
Mhm.
And I love my country, so don't get me wrong. But there's a good and there's a flip side to all the things that are good. So the things that's bad about the consumerism aspect, yes, there's many more dojos to go to and pick from, but unfortunately, you can pick from these dojos that are not preparing you to really be a martial artist.
No, no,
I,
not at
I
all.
just can't see a 14-year-old being a black. I can't see me at my prime getting a black belt in 90 days in another system. And I'm talking about starting
No,
from white to black. It's different if you're
right.
transferring over to another system. That's different. But
Well,
getting,
it's hard enough if you're already a black belt and you're trying to transfer over to another
oh
system.
yeah,
It's already, as an adult, it's hard enough to do that in 10 or 12 months, in my opinion,
right,
because
yeah,
I've had to do that before. I've transferred over before.
right,
Not that I was wanting to give up, what we got.
right,
It wasn't that I was wanting to give up Kitakamiru. I was just interested in something else. And I was cross training and learning about something else because I try to keep an open mind, hey, this could probably help out and stuff like that. And as an adult and already a black belt and I was higher ranking than a first degree black belt, and it still took me longer than 10,
Right.
12 months to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. I just don't
Mhm.
understand it. And well, I understand as an economic thing. Somebody's trying to make some more money. They can send somebody over to teach. They're
Yeah.
probably going to get a kickback from that somehow, be a part of our
Mhm.
organization. But it's not doing anybody any good,
No.
and including the 14-year-old.
Right.
I mean,
It's definitely not doing him or her. I don't know whether this was
right,
a male or female, but I mean, you talking about giving somebody a false sense of security.
right,
This kid
right.
thinks he's a black belt. Now, what if he gets jumped? Oh, I'm a black belt. I can handle myself. And 14 months training, you don't have, and 14 years
No,
old, you don't have a clue how to handle yourself.
no, you do not. No. I used to think, I remember, I started in Tunsido was my first style. And I used to think after probably 6 months, I was, I'm pretty good, you
Yeah.
know. And,
Yeah.
and then as you get further in to the martial arts, you find out, no, you're not. I don't know how else to
Yeah.
say it. Yeah, you're not.
Or you run upon somebody else that's a lot
A
better
lot
than you are,
better.
and you're like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
maybe I wasn't as good as I thought I
It was as
was.
good as I thought it was. And though I could look pretty with the kicks I did have, I had a natural ability to kick,
Yeah.
and I was flexible. But knowing how to really throw them at the right time, build up that picture
Right.
recognition where you're just doing things without having to think, and imparting that knowledge. And no, I just don't. I just don't see it. And the one thing about karate, and in this case, I know they don't like the term anymore, Korean karate, but I'm gonna put Taekwondo in that as I speak in a general
Hmm.
voice. Uh, I can take you can take someone for boxing, and in 90 days you can make them not a champion, but you can make them a decent boxer.
Yeah.
You have a jab, you have an overhand, you have a cross, hook, and uppercut. Five
Yeah. That's
five
it.
strikes. Give them a little bit of
And most
footwork.
boxing schools don't even teach that many.
Right.
They usually teach about 3 or 4.
Right. Get them to start doing combos. Get them to
Yep.
understand footwork and distancing.
Yeah.
Get them either whatever evasive skills that's natural to that
Flipping
person.
punches and all
Well,
that.
right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 90 days, you can make them probably a fairly decent boxer if they're doing it 5 days a week, a couple hours
Yeah.
a day. Uh,
Yeah.
Karate is much more intricate and takes much more time to develop the skill to be good at it. You
Yeah.
cannot, you may be able to teach someone to kickbox. Say, okay, I'm going to teach you a roundhouse and a front kick and boxing techniques. That's possible. But to teach someone the whole art of karate, and in this case,
Yeah.
taekwondo, no, it's
Oh,
too
yeah.
intricate. My other question, I don't know what you think about this, is what would it say to all your other students who are probably, I bet, at this dojo who aren't having this
Oh,
problem? They're probably
yeah.
going through the whole 3-5 year curriculum before they get that black belt.
Yeah. Yeah. And you probably got some rich parent of this 14-year-old that comes in and say, hey, we're moving in 90 days, 120 days, whatever the case may be. We want little Johnny to train with you however many days. It never said how often he was training. But I guarantee you that while the conversation was going on, money came into play.
Right.
If you can get him to a black belt, we'll pay you this much money every month. And you know as well as I do, 9 times out of 10, money talks.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I tell everybody coming in my class, I could care less what your political affiliation is. I could care less what your religious affiliation is. I don't care how much money you got, your
Right.
status in the community. None of that means nothing to me once
Right.
you walk in my dojo. You know, the only thing that I'm doing in that dojo is teaching you martial arts. So I could care less whether your dad or your mother or whoever is a mayor, is a sheriff, is a police officer, is a congressman, is a senator. None of that phases me whatsoever. And I'm not going to be bought. I'm
Right.
not going to,
No.
because I'm selling my soul to the devil the second I accept that.
Right. Yes. And then if I'll compromise there, I'll compromise anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
compromise everywhere
Yeah.
else.
And I don't think somebody's got to be the most talented person in the world because I would have never made it. I'm not the most talented. I do some things well,
Yeah.
some things I
I
don't
do
do
your
well.
thing.
You know,
Yeah.
I believe that there's certain virtues though that are more important than just punches and kicks. And a
Right.
14-year-old is still learning those virtues. You don't
Yeah.
have them at 14.
Heck, a 14-year-old's not even matured yet.
Right. I mean, there's
You
exactly.
know,
Yeah, and their understanding of those virtues would be warped.
you're not old enough to buy a pack of cigarettes. How can you be old enough to go teach karate, or not karate in this
Yeah.
case, but taekwondo? You're not even old enough to go teach taekwondo anywhere. I mean, come on, man.
Right. Or
Yeah.
you, yeah, how could you explain certain things of just dojang etiquette and explain it in a
Yeah.
way that someone can inculcate it into their life?
Right.
Because that's part of what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
For us in karate, we go by the Bushido code.
Yeah.
How can you inculcate? I'm still working on inculcating the 7 virtues
Yeah.
into my life as well as my Christian faith. It's a pursuit. How could I do that? I couldn't have done that at 14, even at 20.
No.
I was still
No.
learning. There is a point you say, okay, you're ready, but it's not at 14. And it's not just about talent. He or she might have been extremely talented. I think what you're better off doing is what I've told many people. Unfortunately, in the military, as you know, we pack up and leave, and so we leave a lot of people who haven't gotten their black belt yet, or they left us, and we encourage them, hey, go somewhere else and go train and get
Right.
that black belt. Hope to see you later. And when we separated, we both kept our training and got more belts and trained under other people.
Yeah.
What I just don't understand. I don't know. When I saw that text from you, I
Oh,
didn't know what to think.
I sent it to a few of my friends that are in martial arts, and you should have seen some of the responses I got back from. I mean, it's like, I'm like, no, I'm not lying. This is what I read. I mean, I don't know. And here's my deal. I have 3 14-year-olds
Right.
in my dojo up here. 2 of them are brown belts,
And they're
one of
very
them is
good.
a black belt.
Yeah.
And I would bet the rest of the year, my paychecks for the rest of this year, off of 2 retirements, that either one of those 14-year-olds, even that green belt, is better and can teach better and is more mature than that 14-year-old that spent 90 days getting his black belt.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because I've got some, and I feel lucky. I've got some really good 14-year-olds, and my 14-year-olds are on top of it, buddy.
Yes,
But
they are. Yes.
but when I see somebody post something like a 14-year-old guy is black belt in 90 days, I think about my 14-year-olds, and the 2 brown belts, it's been with me almost 4 years, and
Right.
they're just brown belts.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I say almost 4 years. They're going on 5 years, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're brown belts.
Right.
And neither one of them are ready to take their black belt test at this point. However, they're really frigging good brown belts.
Right. They're very good.
Both of them are.
Right.
Both of them. And both of them are mature, too, to be 14. And both of them can handle class. Both of them can fight well. I'm very proud of both of them,
Right.
Yeah.
But
If they were ready to take their black belt test, I would have already given it to them.
right.
But it's a time process. You got to mature in time, and the only way that you can mature enough is spend that time and mature as time comes around.
Right.
And you've got to put something into it.
Right.
You
Yeah. When I saw that 90 days, I thought, well, that'll be a good topic because that just blows me away. It just blows me away. I don't know. But it also, and maybe I'll find some videos and I can put them up here if I can still find them. It reminds me a lot of those schools that we've seen before, and I'll be honest, I make fun of, where they got these, there's that one that's out there that's been around for, I think, 10 or 15 years where the black belt 4th Dan test, and he brings all these people and they don't even make contact and they're all blocking the same kick. And they're even getting ready to block before the kick is thrown. They're kind of coming down before it. I just see that and I go like, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. And that's what this reminds me of is, like you said, selling the instructor is soul to soul, and the family has probably paid for this kid to get it because little Johnny or little Jamie wants a black belt and walks around with it. Which leads me kind of to my next question, and I've seen it and I've encountered it. I'm sure you have, but I want to get your thoughts on it. I don't think everybody who gets a black belt necessarily is a great fighter. That's not all of what it's about to be.
No.
However, with that being said, I have had many people when I've taught come into my dojos saying that they were previous black belts, and I'm like you, wear your belt, come on in.
Yeah.
And I've gone to schools like that where they say, hey, yeah, wear your belt, please. And I'm like, oh, I can wear a white belt. No, come on in. Very gracious to me. But I've had people come in, and then it's pretty apparent pretty quickly that whatever the standard was, it's not even close.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not talking about, okay, well, you can tell they were a black belt. They got some skill. We just do things differently. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
Oh yeah. Yeah.
did they just buy this, like you said, off Century? What's going on here? And there are a lot of schools out there. You finally pay your fee, you're going to get it. And so this leads me to this, and then I'll let you tell me your story, because you brought it up while we were training these people here. So I went to a black belt exam in Abilene. I don't want to say the name of the school; it's still there. But it was a Taekwondo, and I went to go watch a guy who was going to our church who invited me. That he was getting ready for his black belt. He'd been going there, I think, about 3 or 4 years. And I went there, and I couldn't believe it. They had a board. 3 or 4 people on the board. Then they had some other black belts from the school that were there watching. And they had 12 people testing for black at the same time. And the test was about 55 minutes long. I do not know how you can watch 12 people from a board and grade all 12 and be done with a black belt exam in 55 minutes. I don't understand that. It blew me away. Of course, I didn't say anything to the person who was there. He was in his late teens.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah. There's something that's not appropriate.
Right.
But I was in shock. I was absolutely in shock. And the instructor of that school is actually a very good martial artist physically, anyways. I don't know him very well. I've met him a couple times. Have you seen that, or have you seen worse than that? I bet you probably have.
Yeah, I have. I don't know. I mean, you said something a while ago. I'm an American. I'm proud to be American. Don't know any other country I'd rather live in than America. But Americans has a bad habit sometimes of watering certain things down, and martial arts is one of them.
Right.
And you can call it what you want. You can call it, I could care less whether you call it Chinese martial arts, American martial arts, Japanese, Okinawan, Korean. I don't care. But when you start dropping your standards, when you start doing dumb crap like that, in my opinion, you're doing nothing. You're watering it down.
Right.
That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
And and yeah, I've seen. Oh, I don't even know whether I should say this or not. But I've seen.
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot to say anything that you think will come back to haunt you.
Yeah. I've seen black belt. Let's just say this: I've seen black belt exams where multiple people were tested at the same time for different black belt ranks, and it took all of maybe 45 minutes.
So kind of like the experience I had, except they're all testing for the same rank. Yeah.
And and here's my deal. I don't even think you can do it for a colored belt, much less for a black belt.
Yeah.
And this too, if you're testing for a black belt, and if I'm sitting on a board, wouldn't you want me to focus all my attention on you? I mean, you've worked really hard to get to that point.
Right.
Would you want me to just be like, just scanning over you because you're one of 35 or 40 people, and just scanning over you and looking at somebody else, or like some people does on these boards are talking to the person to the right or to the left or something like that? We're not even giving you the attention that you deserve due to all the work that you put in to putting yourself in that position to begin with.
Yeah.
And even if it's a colored belt, we've tested multiple people on color belt levels before, but I don't think I've ever tested anyone on a color belt, and I'll only let a seasoned instructor do this. I won't let them watch more than 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You know?
Yeah,
and that's colored belts, and we're talking pretty much beginner, maybe an intermediate level. I
Right.
wouldn't even, not even advanced level brown
Right.
belts.
Yeah.
You know,
This is just me. I think that 2 or 3, and if you've got a good instructor, because they're going to make them repeat the stuff,
right?
you can do that. And if
And they have to be an experienced instructor too,
right, an experienced instructor,
because
yeah,
you can't put a rookie black belt instructor watching more than one person at a time because they're not used to it. That's
right,
something you build up to also.
right. It's a skill. So, for
Yeah.
example, we just got Augustin promoted to Shodan, and Tom
Mhm.
promoted Shodan in this system. They had black belts from previous systems, but into this system. I wouldn't put them up to run a board uh, uh,
No,
right now, and especially to test 2 at one time. No,
no.
no.
No,
And
that's not fair to them, nor is it fair to the person that's testing.
right, and I would can if I had 2 black, because our black belt exam is it's good 8 to 10, 11 hours.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's more than that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
think about 3 days.
well, yeah,
You know,
yeah. If you put the running and the
everything
everything
together.
together,
Yeah,
right, you're looking at 3 days.
and
Uh,
what they got, their projects and their research
Piece of
papers and
papers,
all
right?
that stuff
Yeah,
that they got
yeah,
put together for this black belt. Yeah,
yeah,
it's 3 days of,
right,
let's just say it's 3 days of hell.
of hell. But if you or I are on the board in Shihan,
Hmm.
and then we always have more people than that. I could
Right.
say, okay, we could put 2 black belts. They're going to go through all those techniques today,
Hmm.
and we can watch them. But Shihan's been doing this a long time. I've been doing this a long time, and you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
But no offense to some of our other black belts who are really good, so I'm not going to say their names, but some of our senseis who are second and third dans, no,
Hmm.
you one black
Yeah.
belt.
Yeah.
You can do one black belt at a time,
You pay attention to that one right there.
right there,
That's your goal, is to watch. Don't, you could care less about everybody else.
right,
You need to watch this one right here.
right. But you've been doing this over 50 years. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm at
Well, almost 60.
yeah, and I'm at well, let me see how long. I'm at like 49. So we have a lot of years here, and we've traveled all
Yeah.
over the world. We've been with many other instructors we've learned from and groups we've participated with.
Mhm.
But some of our other black belts don't have that. Well,
No.
then it's me one-on-one. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. And by the way, if you're testing a black belt, I'd like to probably Shihan I or Soki should probably be there with you.
Exactly. Yeah, you need somebody with some rank from our style if you're testing a black
Black
belt.
belt, right? Yeah.
I would even say that as a brown belt, because their brown belts are in the advanced levels. You're testing an advanced, even if it's color belt rank, an advanced color belt rank. One of the 3 of us probably should be there.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not that we're questioning your integrity. It's just you don't have a lot of experience at it.
Right.
And
yes.
we want to make sure that everybody, regardless what school you come from, everything's done as close to as possible to each other, and that you're not breaking the integrity of it, and you're not missing it. It's more or less like a checks and balances thing.
Well, and
You're not missing something.
And on this end, this is also, I know we've talked about this before privately. It's also it protects the student, and here's another reason why.
Yeah.
I have seen young black belts in every system I've been in, and you got more black belts than I do, but we both have got black belts in other disciplines. And I have seen young first and second dans hold the person trained for their brown or black belt to a higher standard than they were held to. And they fell them on something. And it's like, well, wait a minute now. They passed the standard. And matter of fact, they did better than you. I was not your black belt. They did better than you did. You know? And so you got to
don't ask them to do something you didn't do.
You didn't do, right. Or don't ask them something to do, have a standard, and you couldn't even achieve that standard.
Right.
But I've seen that happen. Sometimes people get their black belt, and they got their first, second, or third dan, and they think they are
the head goes like this.
And all of a sudden, they're really hard on that blue belt or brown belt, or that someone who's testing for their Shodan. And we're protecting them because we're able to say, as the ranking people in our system, I'm vetoing your vote.
Yeah.
And you and I have and you and I have that power.
We have that override power.
Right. Not everybody gets that, but because of our rank, and you're the founder, if we get that power to say, whoa, because you see it sometimes, and they, we don't tell them, hey, you got a big hit. We just say we need, and we're polite about it. We need to talk off to the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
But it protects the student because that
Yeah.
student has worked hard, and I don't see it often. I want to say that, but I have seen it before,
Oh yeah.
and it's like,
Oh, I have to.
no.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't understand. We're not trying to say this as a control thing, like we got this gateway, nobody can get in. What we're saying
Right.
is that we're protecting the student as well as protecting the style.
Yeah, we're protecting the integrity of the style too.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, anyways, it got me on a rant when I saw this. When I thought, well, I'll bring it up in the podcast. There's so many things we could talk about, but boy, that one really got me. I tell you,
Oh
Soki.
yeah. And I'm telling you. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, for the love
But
of Pete.
you see and hear some crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just funny
And that was one of them, buddy. I mean, it's been a while since I saw something that drastic, I guess you could say.
right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you get these, and we've talked about this before on our podcast. You get these no touch knockouts. Man, they're a dime a dozen. Everybody's trying to do something to make themselves look bigger. But, when it comes to promotions and
Right.
these BS promotions that they're having and stuff like that, that just gets my crank going because I know what I have to go through to get everything that I've got.
Right. Yeah.
And every black belt that's in Kyoto Karate Do, I know what they've had to go through,
Right. Yeah.
to get what they've got.
Exactly.
And anybody else that gets a black belt in their style,
Right.
in their system, is going to go through the exact same thing.
Right. Yeah.
It was just like we had a 10-year-old yesterday that passed a green belt test. And outside of Nicole, and you know Nicole, my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
Nicole was, I think she was 7 or 8 when she took her green belt test in the Philippines. And that was in 1990, I believe. And that is the last kid under me that has gotten a green belt in this style.
Right. And Nicole was very good too,
that-
though. She was really good.
That was like, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole had been training with me. I mean, obviously I'm her dad, but she'd been training with me since she was 2 years old.
Right.
And at 7, she's taking her green belt test. 5 years, and she's taking her green belt test.
Yeah.
But Nicole, buddy, I'm telling you, every time I went to the dojo, that little girl was glued to my side.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't let her train in a dojo until she turned 5 because I wasn't letting nobody else train in there. But I worked with her at home,
Right.
And when she did enter the dojo at 5 years old, she was hell on wheels.
Yeah. She was
at
very
5
good.
years old.
I remember her. She was very good. Yeah. She was very,
Yeah.
very good. Yeah.
But
And
this kid that tested yesterday, he's 10. And man, I tell you what, he looked really, really good. His name is Reese Tompkins,
mhm.
and he looked really, really, really good.
I remember
yesterday.
meeting him there when I was there in November. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Reese has
good young
got it,
kid.
and he's worked really hard to get this opportunity. And I bragged on him on Facebook. When I put the post on Facebook and put some of the pictures in there and stuff. I mean, he went through 3.5 hours, and what he did yesterday is a lot to ask of anyone, but especially a 10-year-old. And that kid proved to everybody yesterday that 10-year-olds can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just got to be as dedicated. They
Yeah.
got to have the work ethic that Reese has got.
Right.
You can do it. You just got to have the work ethic
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But it also goes to show you, we don't care about your age. We don't care about what sex you are, or anything like that.
Right.
The standard is a standard is a standard. And
Right.
if you can pass it, then good on you. But
Right.
if you can't pass it, you don't get it.
Right. Many of our
And you
black.
can't buy them from us.
Right. Yeah. And many of our black belts are female. And,
yeah.
Yeah. And I know, we are a hard style. There are a few others I've been to that really train hard.
There's a lot of
But-
stuff to learn in
But
our style.
our style, right? Because it's so eclectic. And I think of, but I think of the female black belts we've had, or even some of the female brown belts. I don't know why they didn't go to their black belt and they quit. But in any case, we have men who fear and don't go through it because they get scared,
Yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
quit. I mean, and that's
I've
what
had
it is.
grown men get up to their brown belt and quit.
Quit. And I really think a lot of that's fear. They
Intimidation.
intimidation,
That's what-
right? And we've had some females go through it, and by golly, I'm gonna tell you, We beat up on them too. They go through it,
Oh yeah, they
and
go through the exact same thing that a grown ass man
it
goes
goes
through.
through right. Yep. And when that it's time for sparring, that whole board gets to fight you.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And each of us black belts choose how we're going to fight you.
right,
I mean, and
yeah,
so and how long,
yeah,
and
oh yeah,
yeah, and but it's amazing, and then to see this cheating of it for 90 days, I just and here's another thought that just occurred in my mind. I get your I know we're both busy, so we only got like 3 minutes left. I want to get your thought on this at the last minute. Is if an instructor is willing to promote you in 90 days to your black belt in Taekwondo or Karate or any system like this,
yeah,
probably for money. But what else is he willing to trade favors for to promote you?
exactly. Yep,
Yeah,
yep. Because I'm gonna tell you,
yeah,
if you sell your soul on one subject, you're gonna sell it on
on
another.
another. Right. You'll sell
You
it
know,
on another.
and the best thing you can do is every time you walk in that dojo, just have it in your mind. Everybody gets treated equally. My standards are going to remain the same. Some people will try and change that with you. They'll try to be your best buddy, or they'll be like, "Hey, my kid's really, really good," or parents will try and talk to you. The people in there will try and talk to you. Well, can I do this? Can I do? If you just got to have it set in your head that everything is always the same way,
Right.
regardless of
Regardless.
who that
Yeah.
person is.
Exactly.
It's
Well,
always
yeah, and it reminds me of when we trained together. I mean, how could you tell I was your best buddy and I loved you? Because you beat the hell out of me and I'd
exactly.
come back.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
I mean, yeah.
I would take a beating and come back. And I'd step up for another beating. I wasn't somebody who says, "Hey, can I take it easy today?" Or I got
Yeah.
uh,
Or we're best friends. Can I skip this part of
this
the
part of
test?
yeah, right,
Or
exactly. No,
yeah,
no, I'd take a beating from you, and then
yeah.
and then he's like,
Well, I wouldn't
I'd
go that far, but
I'd be back. I mean,
yeah,
it was hard training. But
yeah,
a lot of people they'll try to you know get out of that,
yeah.
and that's how I know that the two people we recently promoted were good because they could have gone anywhere else, especially
Oh
since I
yeah.
moved.
Oh yeah.
Augustin could have went anywhere else, but he
Yeah.
liked the hard training, so he kept on traveling from Texas to wherever I was moving to, whether it
Yeah.
was Missouri or Arkansas.
And Lord knows Tom could have. He stayed with you on and off for
Oh, 30
30
years.
years.
Right.
I mean, you just don't find that kind of loyalty anymore.
No.
You know?
And he's getting beat up.
Yeah.
He's getting beat
For
up
30
for
years he
30
got his
years.
ass handed to him.
Yeah. But he came back for more.
Yeah.
And I remember showing you the video of his Goju Bravo test. I mean, I wasn't kicking that hard, but I kicked in the right spot. Precision's everything.
Right.
And
Oh
it
yeah.
would drop him down. It'd drop him. He'd get back
Yeah.
up. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I,
Yeah.
but I don't know, 90 days. And by the way, the person who got it 90 days, they're not going to be loyal to you either.
No, no. I've had people that has gotten up to green belt, blue belt, purple belt, probably more than anything else, brown belt, and be like, "Well, I'm quitting." And you ask them why they're quit. Well, I just don't think you're being fair. That is the biggest bullshit
Yeah.
excuse I've ever heard in my life. My standard does not change regardless who you are. They know that. They just don't want to do what it takes
Right.
because I hold firm on my standards and
Right.
stuff like that. And they can't change that. They can't talk me into going any easier on them than I did everybody else. And then they come up with some kind of BS excuse as to why they're quit. No, because you're not being fair to me. At what point am I? Because I've actually had people say that to me, and I've asked the question: At what point am I not fair to you?
Right.
Tell me, where have I asked you to do something that you've seen me not ask somebody else to do something in the exact same rank?
Right.
Just tell me. Tell me. You show me an example where I'm not being fair to you or what I'm not doing. And and it's not only in a dojo, you have to be a good person too. You have to be a good citizen. You have to have your stuff together on the outside because you represent everybody else
Right.
in the school.
Right.
And one of my standing things is you get in trouble with the law, you're out.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because the last thing I need something to happen is someone get arrested. Oh, that person that got arrested for whatever, they take school under this Briggs guy down the street.
Right.
Is that the kind of students that he pushes out and stuff like that? No, you're not going to give everybody else a bad name just because you had your head up your ass,
Right. Yeah.
or done something stupid.
Right. And I don't want to get too personal, but we've even had black belts that we rescinded their membership because
Oh, yeah.
of weird things they've done.
Yeah.
And those
Yeah.
people were closer to us than other people we've promoted, and we've not done that to.
Yeah, buddy.
So it's not, and we still love them as people, but no,
Yeah.
you did
Yeah.
something that was embarrassing, and
Right.
you didn't heed the warning, so you kept it up.
Right.
I
After
can,
we tried to talk to you about it.
we tried talking about. I can love you on one hand, but say you're not meeting the standards anymore, and you're not correcting
Right.
yourself.
Right.
So you're out. So we're fair. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We're fair.
Yep.
Yeah. I just think some people who say when they say we're not fair or you're not fair in this case, I think they want something easy, candidly
Oh,
speaking,
Yeah.
and they see someone else got something and they think they got it easier. No,
Yeah.
they happen to do well this time and you didn't, but maybe
Right.
next time it's going to be reversed or time before.
Yeah.
It's
Or I
reversed.
hear this a lot. Well, why is so and so getting promoted? Because I'm a better fighter than so and so is. Well, maybe so and so is a better at something else than you are. Maybe they spent more time in the dojo. Maybe they're getting the concept of maturity. Maybe they're getting the concept of respect and loyalty and honor and all the other things that we teach by the seven virtues of Bushido.
Right.
Maybe they're getting this and you're not. There's always a reason why somebody's missing the boat.
Right.
Don't blame me for your failures of missing the boat somewhere.
Right.
You've got to get it together.
Exactly. Hanshi Hecht, and for our audience,
Yeah.
Soki knows Hanshi Hecht, who's my Goju. He once told me something really important, and it's a long, long time ago. He said, karate is not just about punches and kicks.
Right.
And I think that's because when he was first teaching me, I loved to fight.
Yeah.
But he was right. And that's just how he said it. Karate is not just about punches and kicks.
Right.
And a lot of these people think, well,
And
because
people fail to understand that.
they fail to understand that. Right. It's not just
They'll
about
be like,
that.
oh, this guy's such a good fighter. He's good in dojo. Yeah, but what is he on the outside?
Right. Yeah.
How much crap does he cause or she cause somewhere else or do this or do that?
Yeah.
They don't understand the big picture.
Right. No, and how much are they maybe escalating themselves into a fight?
Right. Yeah.
And also karate's got things that I'm weak at, like kata. It's a whole well-rounded person, and it's like saying, if I can use a Christian analogy, well, I go to church every Sunday. Therefore, I'm a good Christian. No, it's much bigger than that.
Right.
Yeah. And same with
Exactly.
karate. It's not just about, if it's just about funny, go join a boxing or an MMA gym.
Yeah. Exactly.
Go have
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah. Just because you show up in a dojo doesn't mean that you deserve to be promoted.
Yeah.
You've got to put the work in and you've got to adhere to the same standards or the same concepts that everybody else is adhering to.
Yep.
You
Well,
know,
yeah.
and I've always said this, what you said about Hanshi Heck, I've always said this. I've said this so many times it's pathetic. You can send a monkey into my dojo. I can teach a monkey how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not hard to teach someone how to fight. It really isn't,
No.
but karate is more than fighting. It's more, like you said, than punching and kicking.
Right.
If it was all based on how well you could fight, or why couldn't we just base it on how well you can do kata instead of fighting? And just leave the fighting out of it.
Right.
Because we can't. It takes all of it.
It's all of it. Right. Yep. And I've had to get through that myself because I could fight pretty well, but the kata I had to really struggle with. But I'm glad I've had to struggle with it. It's made me a better martial artist in person.
Mhm.
It's a whole person concept. It's not just you can have steak but don't have milk. It's everything.
Right.
And so it's all of it. Well, Soki, I know you're under a time restraint this time.
Yep.
So we've kind of gone over the time. I hit the buzzer for it wouldn't go off and disturb
Yep.
our podcast. But I want to say congratulations to you for your is it your grandson, right?
Yeah, he's graduating high school Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock in North Atlanta.
Well, tell Shihan and have a good time, and you have a good time, and also say hi. It's Nicole's son, right?
It's Nicole's
Okay.
oldest child, our only grandson.
Okay.
And we got 4 grandkids, and Nathaniel is our only grandson,
Okay.
and he's graduating high school Tuesday morning. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to Nathaniel because he's really worked his butt
Yeah.
off, and he's doing really really well. And this kid's smart as a flipping tack.
Well, good. Well,
Makes me jealous how smart he is, and I think he's going to college to study aerospace engineering or
wow.
something like that. Yeah, I
Wow.
can't even spell that kind of
Yeah.
crap. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, that's how smart he is. But I also want to give two more shout outs before we leave. Tom Mayo and Augustine Alunga,
Right.
two of them that tested for their black belt over the past, week and a half, I guess, 2 weeks ago. And Reese Tompkins that just passed his green belt test yesterday in their
Awesome.
dojo up here in Sparta.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those four big shout outs Nathaniel, Reese, Tom, and Augustine.
Awesome.
You know,
Yeah.
all of them deserves a big round of applause.
Applause.
All four of them does.
Great. Us. Well, congratulations to you, Soki, on your grandson
I'm
graduating.
being this old.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if Nicole even remembers me. It's been so long since I've
Yeah.
seen her last. But
Oh,
tell her,
she does.
tell her
I
congrats.
talk to you all. Talk to her all the time about you.
Well,
She remembers.
and tell her congrats
Yeah.
for me.
I will.
All right. Take
Will.
care, brother.
All right, brother. We'll
right.
talk to you later.
Bye bye.